Hey there, YouTubers. Thanks for stopping by today. Getting ready to record a spiritual almanac for Sunday, February 7th. It's just another day here in the beautiful rolling hills of central New York. Not a lot's happening. We're in, isolation or, whatever we're calling it for COVID. And it's kind of snowy out, so there's not a lot going on. But, it's another day and we're alive. And so we're going to be thankful and press forward. We have some pretty cool stuff for you here today on the Spiritual Almanac. We're going to be starting with a piece from the poet Sarah Orne Jewett. Really interesting poet, but the piece is, I think, what makes this special today. She's talking about, in this poem, experiencing church from a distance. Let's just say that, okay? I think you're going to enjoy it. We also have some pretty cool spiritual nuggets. We're going to be talking about the equipment manufacturer, John Deere. Revolutionized agricultural equipment, but he also had some social and political commitments that really spoke to his spirituality, and I think that's really interesting to me. And then we're also going to be talking about something called the Portland vase. If for archaeologists, it's a big deal. It's really old. It's really rare. It depicts, ancient spirituality, several figures on it. And there was an incident that occurred in the British Museum about 175 years ago that involved a drunk college student, a lawyer, and some other stuff. So you're going to want to stick around for that. Okay. Well, anyway, let me get set up and let's start the podcast. Welcome to a Spiritual Almanac. It's Sunday, February 7th, 2021. As a child, Sarah Orne Jewett accompanied her father when he made rounds as a country doctor. It acquainted her with the sights, sounds, and culture of her native Maine and gave her a unique understanding of its people, an understanding that shines through in her writing. Although Jewett never considered herself religious, she was attracted to spirituality and joined the Episcopal Church in 1871 at the age of 22. So for today's inspiration, we're looking at a poem that speaks to Jewett's belief that church isn't the only place one can experience God on a Sunday morning. It's a piece titled At Home from Church. The lilacs lift in generous bloom their plumes of dear old-fashioned flowers. Their fragrance fills the still old house where, left alone, I count the hours. High in the apple trees the bees are humming, busy in the sun. An idle robin cries for rain but once or twice, and then is done. The Sunday morning quiet holds in heavy slumber all the street, while from the church just out of sight, behind the elms, come slow and sweet the organ's drone, the voices faint that sing the quaint long meter hymn. I somehow feel as if shut out from some mysterious temple, dim and beautiful with blue and red and golden lights from windows high, where angels in the shadows stand and earth seems very near the sky. The daydream fades, and so I try again to catch the tune that brings no thought of temple nor of priest, but only of a voice that sings. More spiritual nuggets for today. Today is the birthday of the equipment manufacturer John Deere in 1804. Born in Rutland, Vermont, Deere's father left for England when he was 4 and disappeared, leaving his wife to raise their son on her own. He started work as a blacksmith's apprentice at the age of 17 and went on to become one of the 19th century's greatest manufacturers of agricultural equipment. In addition to his business pursuits, Deere was active in social and political causes for most of his life. Most notably, he was a passionate abolitionist and personally broke up pro-slavery meetings by, quote, yelling, hooting, and bellowing in a manner that would disgrace the lowest brothel in existence. Even though Deere was a member of the Congregationalist Church, it's believed that he played a key role in financing the African Methodist Episcopal Church in his adopted hometown of Moline, Illinois. He later became the second mayor of Moline, and during his tenure created the city's first Board of Health, allocated funds for the expansion of the local cemetery, and advocated for the development of streetcars for public transportation. And on this day in 1845, the Portland vase was vandalized and nearly destroyed at the British Museum in London. The Portland vase is an extremely rare two-handled glass amphora that dates back to around 25 AD. It's the world's most famous piece of Roman cameo glass and probably contained the cremated remains of a high-ranking official. One of the most interesting characteristics of the Portland vase is that it features cameo reliefs depicting the marriage of the sea gods Peleus and Thetis, Cupid carrying a nuptial torch, and other scenes from Greek history and religious mythology. The vase has a complicated history, but it's been held in the British Museum since 1810. On the afternoon of February 7, 1845, a Trinity College student who'd been on a week-long drinking spree threw a stone sculpture at the vase for no apparent reason, shattering the vase into 80 pieces. But due to a legal technicality, he wasn't charged with damaging the item itself. Instead, he was ordered to pay a fine of just £3 for destroying the glass case that contained it. Fortunately, historical restoration specialists were able to put the vase back together, and it's currently on display once again at the British Museum. Finally, today's happy thought comes to us from the Dalai Lama. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. Pretty good advice. And that's today's Spiritual Almanac. For additional reading, see Jewett, Novels and Stories, edited by Michael Bell. There's a link in the description and on our website. A Spiritual Almanac is a production of Granola Soul. You can find a text version of today's episode, Sarah Orne Jewett's At Home from Church, and other resources at our website, granolasoul.com. Thanks for listening. Be kind, take good care, and I'll see you tomorrow.